We're back in the seat today, and of course we're back talking transfer news for what seems like the millionth time this summer. We're talking Wrexham AFC transfer news. We've got a big one today. I feel like I've said that in every single video I've made over the course of this summer, but today we're going to be talking about the future of Arthur Okonkwo. It's been going on for weeks and weeks now. What is going to happen with the 25-year-old goalkeeper? But we finally got an exclusive bit of news regarding his future going into this championship season. We're also going to be taking a look at the potential £7.5 million signing of a League One centre-back, which I'm sure a lot of fans will turn their noses up at. So we're back in the usual setup. I've been travelling for 9 hours, but I've got back in the house, and the first thing I wanted to do was record a video because it is such a fun time of the season. It's so fun bringing you the content. Also as well, I've got my lucky Scottish heather hoping that Wrexham Football Club will announce 2 or 3 big signings and we can push on for the championship playoffs or even championship promotion this season. So before we get into it, if you're looking for the best Wrexham AFC content, it's coming your way on the channel. Thank you so much for all the support you've shown over the past couple of months. You've absolutely smashed it. We're less than 100 subscribers away from 29,000. Let's go for 500 likes on today's video. And if you would like to support the channel further, every new customer does help me and the channel grow even further by clicking the first link in the description down below. WXM5 for £5 off. You can get some incredible deals on there for some incredible products. And without further ado, let's get taking a look first at Arthur Okonkwo. So an exclusive transfer scoop has confirmed that Arthur Okonkwo is set to leave Wrexham Football Club in the final few weeks of the summer transfer window. Now this obviously comes after the big bit of news that Wrexham have broken their transfer record fee on Sunderland shot stopper Anthony Patterson about a week ago now. Arthur Okonkwo is set for a loan move away from Wrexham. A loan move is tempting a lot of clubs in the Championship, but there is also a very good chance that he does leave on a permanent deal. Now I think speaking from the heart and away from stats and whatever, but I think speaking from the heart from a fan that's watched Arthur since the first day that he did come in, is one that's going to upset a lot of fans because we've seen the best of Arthur Okonkwo in a Wrexham shirt. We've seen an incredible young goalkeeper who has just really grown into a man from a boy and has just really taken his own. Obviously we've seen such a quick rise for Wrexham up the leagues. He signed as a League 2 goalkeeper, and in the space of 2 years he was being chucked in the deep end to play in the Championship and in a team that wanted to compete at the top end of the table, and I think he did well. I think there is room for improvement for him going forward, whether he does stay at Wrexham as number 2, compete for number 1, or he does get a move to a fellow Championship side. If you're looking at him in a Wrexham shirt, his shot stopping ability was second to none. He's one of the best shot stoppers we've seen at the club, and I think overall for his age I think he did really develop into a very good goalkeeper and one that is more than capable of playing in the Championship week in week out. And you know, he's a goalkeeper that's been absolutely excellent for us, single-handedly saved us on a couple of occasions, especially in the Championship with some key saves. But obviously now we're not in the National League, we're not in League 2 anymore. There is no margin for error, and you know, we've seen that for Arthur Okonkwo. That mistake away at Swansea City around that Christmas time, and on a couple of occasions some indecisive decisions, some lack of commandment inside the box. He's 6'6", you expect him to be a massive presence, but when we have seen him come out for crosses or just being big in that penalty box for Wrexham, he's not really looked all too convincing, and that's clearly the reason why Phil Parkinson has got Anthony Patterson in and has seen Arthur Okonkwo fall down the pecking order. And I think we understood that with him being rested at the end of a very important stage of the Championship season. Danny Ward came in, and I think all sort of trust was lost for Arthur at the back end of last season. And I think it is a shame because, like I said, we've seen him go from League 2 to League 1, League 1 to the Championship, and I think over time he's just got better and better. I think his distribution still needs a bit of work on, but you can't fault his shot stopping. He's one of the best shot stoppers in this division, and it is a shame because all those good moments and performances are just completely forgotten about when you do make those 2 or 3 mistakes. And I think last season, you know, he's made a handful of really good saves, and it'll get talked about for, you know, in that moment in the game on the commentary and maybe a bit after the match. But in comparison to that Swansea City mistake, that was the main talking point over the course of the couple of days, because yes, it lost us the game, but you do forget about those saves that have kept Wrexham in the game and have seen us, you know, compete at the top end of the table. So it is a shame that that sort of does overweigh the good moments that he has had in a Wrexham shirt, but I guess that's football in the Championship. And of course Wrexham owners Ryan and Rob have just given the keys for Phil Parkinson to do what he wants, because he knows Wrexham Football Club inside out now. He's going into his 6th season here at the club, and he knows exactly what Wrexham need in terms of the squad's DNA, the club's DNA. So he clearly knows that Anthony Patterson is going to be a more reliable option for Wrexham going forward. They're at a similar age. I think Patterson's just that year older than Okonkwo, but if we are looking at Patterson in his career career, of course, we've seen him. He's played in the Championship before. He's played 45 out of 46 games. He's got Sunderland promoted. He's been in goal for that promotion, so he knows this league inside out, which is probably a reason why he's favoured over Arthur. Arthur's done well in his first season, but I think there are slight signs of weaknesses for Arthur. But I think going forward, there's room for Anthony Patterson to develop, likewise with Arthur Okonkwo. Now, if we're looking at the possible destination for Arthur going into the Championship season, and I think it's all set that we are going to see Arthur potentially return to the racecourse ground if he does leave on a permanent deal, because 2 Championship sides have both inquired about him, Charlton Athletic and Bolton Wanderers. Now, 2 clubs that I think even before we knew Arthur was going to leave, 2 clubs that, you know, have really shown interest in terms of what we've seen on social media in Arthur before. And being as unbiased as I possibly can on the channel, I don't think we should be looking to accept anything less than, I would say, £3 to £4 million plus a sell-on clause, maybe plus add-ons for Arthur Okonkwo. That's at a minimum, because we're not selling a third choice goalkeeper here. We're selling our first choice goalkeeper from last season, who I think kept 7-8 clean sheets for us, had a really good season. He's still 25. He's got a potential high resale value for the future. We shouldn't be letting him go for £3 million. If anything, I don't think we're going to get the price we paid for Anthony Patterson. That's obviously understandable because he was coming from a Premier League side, and I can't see Bolton and Charlton having, you know, £8 million to spend on a goalkeeper. But if you're looking at those 2 clubs, they're 2 clubs that don't have the biggest of transfer budgets, so it does make you question how much is he going to be sold for, because at this moment in time there's been talks of a loan deal, which makes absolutely no sense at all. He's got 1 year left on his contract. If we loan Arthur Okonkwo out, he's most likely going to go to a Championship club, and there is a 50-50 chance that he just trickles along that season, doesn't do anything amazing, and then Wrexham won't offer him a new contract. He'll go permanently to a Championship side. We want to be getting money for him now. We don't want to be taking that risk of potentially losing him for £0 next summer, opposed to maybe making £3 or £4 million in the next couple of weeks. And like I said, yes, he's a goalkeeper that has a couple of weaknesses in his game, but it doesn't take a lot for those weaknesses to be patched over and for him to develop as a good goalkeeper. So the potential resale value that is there for Arthur Okonkwo and his possible competition to Anthony Patterson, it would be incredible to have Anthony Patterson and Arthur Okonkwo as number 1 and number 2. But realistically, if Wrexham don't receive the right offer for Okonkwo, I can't see us letting him go. We're not going to let him go for willy-nilly. We all know as well Phil Parkinson absolutely loves Danny Ward, so that could be playing devil's advocates for this situation for Okonkwo. Would Parky be looking at this thinking, we're going to get money for him, let him go on a permanent deal? Because let's be honest, he's brought Patterson in for a reason, and he's going to be the number 1 all throughout the campaign. So like I said, I don't see the point of loaning him out, because it doesn't make sense from a financial point of view, and I think we'll have to wait and see over the next couple of weeks, because it is likely that Arthur's going to leave the club. Talking next on Harry Souttar. Now, Souttar is the name in question as to which centre-back Wrexham are going to sign. It seems to be a race between this Norwegian centre-back and Harry Souttar. Now, an interesting bit of news broke at the end of the week. Daily Mail have reportedly said that Wrexham are looking to strike a deal this weekend for Harry Souttar from League One side Leicester City for a fee in the region of £7.5 million. What I would say on this, first of all, before we get talking on Harry Souttar, Wrexham Football Club, please stay away from him. We've reportedly had an edge over Sheffield United in the past couple of days. They reportedly sent a £6 million bid in for Souttar, but Wrexham have moved that one step further and offered £7.5 million. And in all honesty, I cannot see why. As much as I love to see us recruit a new centre-back going into this Championship season, we need one. I'd like to see a ball-playing centre-back. I can't justify spending £7.5 million on a League One defender who's only played 66 games in the past 5 seasons. From the 21-22 season, the first full season of the takeover of Ryan and Rob. Since then, Souttar has only played 66 games, 2 ACL injuries, an injury-prone centre-back who has just got relegated to League One with Leicester City. We've seen him today, the day of recording this. They faced off against Notts County, and to say the least, we saw some hideous defending from him, just standing absolute still when the balls come out. He's claiming for an offside and has just been like a statue. We saw it in that League Cup game as well, that stray pass across the face of goal, which luckily was one of the worst misses you'll see. It's either screaming of him wanting to leave Leicester, and you can't get that from a defender. You're not going to get a defender put in some really obviously bad performances to get a move elsewhere, but I just don't think Souttar's the man for Wrexham. I've not got a personal vendetta against him, but when you're putting a price tag up of £7.5 million for a centre-back, you don't want to be signing Harry Souttar, and you can't really go as well from an exciting young Norwegian centre-back who's set to play in Europe this season, who Wrexham have put 2 bids in for him, really chasing him, been to the World Cup with Norway, and then go to an injury-prone centre-back who's 6'7", can't really turn, isn't fast in the slightest, and isn't the profile of defender we need to go into that left centre-back role to replace Lewis Brunt. It does make you wonder who is at the forefront of the recruitment department. We've seen Michael Williamson, the CEO, reportedly be heavily involved in transfers this season, and if I'm going off what's happened so far, maybe you should just take a look at the whole situation and think, yeah, maybe I should just take a step back, because you can't be going from a young, exciting Norwegian centre-back to Harry Souttar for a fee, probably £3 or £4 million less. It is worth just putting that forward and getting someone that could possibly have, a 15, 20, £25 million price tag in the future. Now, I think if you are looking at Harry Souttar and his situation at Leicester City, I've said a lot of bad things about him, but I haven't got anything personally against him. But in terms of ambition from Wrexham, is it an ambitious signing for us? I don't think so. I think when fully fit, he's a good centre-back for this level, but that fully fit has not been seen for, I'd probably say, the majority of his career. We've only seen him fully fit for maybe 3 or 4 seasons here and there, but in recent years, you can't make a real judgment of him. Wrexham Football Club need a ball-playing centre-back who can step into the midfield, make those progressive passes into the midfield, centre-attacking midfielders, wing-backs, etc. But if you're looking at Harry Souttar, like I said, he's 6'7", he's not fast, he's a traditional old-school centre-back who you can just imagine is going to sit in the middle of the defence, stand there, be a good head with the ball, be strong, but we don't need that. We've got Dom High and we've got Dan Scarr to be in those centre-back roles to play that role. Whether Scarr's leaving, I'd take Harry Souttar as a backup. I'd take Harry Souttar for £3-4 million. I would not be splashing the cash on Harry Souttar. £7.5 million for a defender that's not guaranteed to start week in, week out. At this moment in time as well, I can't see why Wrexham would go for a centre-back of his profile over a ball-playing centre-back, and even one step further. Our needs at the minute is a striker. We need a striker through the door. So why on earth are we targeting a centre-back of his profile who is not going to offer the attributes that we've let go in Lewis Brunt and offer that squad depth in a role that, we're really lacking at the minute? But I think the one thing we can gather from this situation is if Phil Parkinson likes a player, he's going to go all out to get him. The two that do come to the top of my mind, Ryan Longman and Anthony Patton. There's probably a whole host of them out there that, Phil Parkinson's wanted in one transfer window and then has not been able to get them and got them in the other one. So I think there is a bit of truth behind this. I think there is legs behind the rumour of Harry Souttar to Wrexham, which, I don't think is a good thing, but I think over time we're just going to have to wait and see how this deal plans out, because we've seen him start today away at Notts County for Leicester, so whether a deal will be struck over the weekend, I highly doubt it, so I don't think that's right on that sense. But I think in the next couple of weeks, unfortunately, I think there is a chance that we do see Souttar sign for that mammoth fee. So yeah, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. Do you think we should be splashing the cash on a new defender of his profile? I think a lot of fans will be in a unanimous decision on that. So yeah, till the next one, take care guys, up the Championship Reds.